x is going to be a lot of different numbers. And how I remember it is I just draw a Pac-Man like this. And the Pac-Man's hungry. He wants to eat the bigger number. And so when the mouth is pointed towards the x, I know that x is greater than that number. So we're going to write that number. So x is greater than 3. So who can raise their hand and tell me what number, give me a number that's greater than 3. You can shout it out too. 5, 7, what else? 4. What else?
8.
8. What else? A million. Right? All those numbers are greater than 3. So all of that, so now we're not, when we're dealing with inequalities, we're dealing with a bunch of answers, not just one anymore. And so we look at this with 3, work for this, is 3 greater than 3? No, right? And so when we graph this, it looks something like this. So I'm going to put 3 right here, 2 right here, and I always just put the number before and after it. And so since it doesn't include that 3, I put an open circle. So it's an open circle when it doesn't include it. That means there's no line. Then if x is bigger, what number is bigger than 3? 4 or 2? 4. So I'm going to shade all this way because I know the answer's got to be greater than 3. So throw those weird tricks that you've learned in the past. You've done this for a while, and a lot of people have told you different things. Don't try to do tricks. Just try to understand what the sign is saying. Now let's try the next one. So we're going to do x. And it could also look like this, right? 3 is greater than x. Same with this one. Make sure you know that's why you can't memorize the signs. These mean the same thing, right? The mouth is eating 3. And I just taught in my other class, if I talk to someone with my back to them, do I think they're less than me or greater than me? Less than me, right? So see how Pac-Man's back's towards x? That means x is less than that number. So x is less than 3. So I just remember, I always just look at Pac-Man and the x. If his booty's towards x, that means he thinks x is less than him. If the mouth is eating x, he has respect for them. He thinks at least they're greater than them. So that number is greater. And there's a million different ways. Even if you don't understand what I'm saying, this topic could come up after and she can explain how she does it. But this is how just a lot of other people remember it, is just making a little Pac-Man. So who can give me a number less than 3? 2. What else? 1. What else? You guys can shout it out. Negative what? Sure. And so all those are solutions. So yesterday we did more than one solution. Now we're doing, or yesterday we did one solution. Today we're doing more than one. So when we do our graph, we know it's going to be an open circle on 3 because it doesn't include it. And which number is less than 3? 2. So I would shade that way. So this should be your whole sheet. This is all we're doing today. And so you guys see, it could be written either way. That's why I don't want you to memorize left, less than, things like that. All right, next one looks like this. Or it could look like this. They mean the same thing. And we can see the mouth is eating x. So Pac-Man thinks, is x greater than or less than it? Greater than, right? So we know it's greater than, and see, I took an equal sign, I took an inequality sign, and I smushed them together to get greater than or equal to. So see, that line just means I took an equal sign, I took an equality sign, I smushed them together. So I'm going to write x is greater than or equal to. And so all that means is all these numbers can be true, but what other number can be true now? 3, because it could be equal to 3, could be equal to 1,000, 5, it doesn't matter, as long as it's greater than or equal. And so when I graph that, it's now going to be a closed circle. So I'm going to put a closed circle on 3, because it includes it. So that closed circle just means it includes it. And I know it could be 3 or anything greater than that, so I'm going to shape that way. Last one is right here. You can probably guess what it's going to be, and this is x is less than or equal to 3. Or it could be written like this. So no matter how you read it, the booty's pointed towards x. So that means x is less than or equal to 3. So what numbers are less than or equal to 3? 2, 1, -2, but also can include now 3. So that's the main number that equal sign. That's the only difference. So when I draw this, it's going to be a closed circle on 3 because it includes it now. And which number is smaller than 3? 2 or 4? 2, so it would go this way. And that's what we're doing for the first period. Does that make sense? So what you're going to do real quick is that front sheet, it's like a drilling kill sheet. So it's like a CUDA worksheet. It looks like this. Not that. This one. It looks like that. You guys see that sheet? Get that sheet out. So the front page is what we're working on today. Or working on for this period. And so all you're doing is you're looking at the inequality and trying to graph it. So first, I see that there's a 4 and there's a line underneath it. Does that mean it includes it or it doesn't include it? It includes it, right? I smushed an equal sign and an equality sign. So I know I'm going to put a solid dot on 4 right there. Then, if I'm looking at this, I can see the mouth is eating n. So is n greater than or less than? Greater, right? And so if the booty was pointed towards n, then it would be less than, right? So if I talk with my back to somebody, I think they're less than me. But if I talk to somebody who's in front of me, I think they're greater than me. And so I'm going to shade all the numbers that are greater than 4. Which numbers are greater than 4? 5, 6, 7 or 0, 1, 2, 3? 5, 6, 7. So I'm just shading this way. And that's all you're doing for that first half. So you're just drawing which dot you're using to open or close circle and shading the answers that represent that. The bottom part that looks like this, the bottom half of the worksheet, you're looking at it and you're writing the inequality. So the bottom half, if you go to 7 real quick, first of all, I'm going to use, doesn't matter what letter you use. I'm going to probably use X. And I know since it's a closed circle, it's going to have a line underneath it. And so here's 5, because that's where the dot's on. Now, what's shaded is are the numbers bigger than 5 or smaller than 5? Bigger, right? 6, 7, they're bigger than 5. And it also includes 5. So I know the mouth's going to be eating X because those numbers are greater than or equal to 5. So that's number 7 on your sheet. And so that's all we're doing for the first half of class. Is just practicing graphing and identifying inequalities. When you're finished that, and the answer key's up front, so you'll be able to check your work. When you're finished that, if you go to your Delta Math, they're both on here for today, so I'm going to just show you the one that has to do with what we're doing today. It looks like I have to delete those other ones. 2.2, this first one looks like this. And they're just saying, okay, is 8 greater than 3? True or false? Is 8 greater than 3? True. So you're just doing true or false for that one, just kind of practicing with the signs. And then the second one, which it gives you this, and you're just showing which one it is. So it looks like it's greater than, X is greater than, but not equal to because it's not filled in. So I know it would be that one. And those are the two that you're working on this period. The last two are what you're working on next period. And then lastly, your ticket out the door is just that first question right here. You're graphing this and then writing the inequality. Next third period, we're going to be dealing with 1 step and 2 step.